Hey, I'm Yogi Don, your octogenarian yogi. In these videos, I'll share what I've learned over the years about yoga's ethics, its philosophy, its poses, its breath work, and meditation. May we be protected together, may we be nourished together, may we create strength together, may our work together bring fulfillment, and may there be no disharmonies among us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to do a little restorative yoga, low impact. It could be done on the floor. I'm choosing to do it on the bed here because I know that a number of people might not have the ability yet to get up and down off of the floor, and I just want to be able to demonstrate that some of the things that are done on the floor can be easily done on a bed, which is easy for most people to get it in and out of. We have today some folded blankets, probably more than most people might have in their homes. I also have some bolsters and a strap. We will use the strap, and if you have bolsters or folded blankets or any kind of a firm pillow to use, firm cushion of some sort, that would be really great. All right, so let's get started. And I'm going to take this pillow here and move it out of the way, and also move this other pillow out of the way so that I have full length of the bed here to do what we're going to do today. All right, first thing we're going to do is a basic Cobra pose, what we call a Sphinx version. Sphinx version of Cobra is a passive back bend where we relax our back, our buttocks, and our legs, the lower parts of our body. And so, to get into that, I'm going to begin sitting here, rolling over on my elbow and side, bring my feet up onto the bed, and then rotate around, and arms out in front, relaxing my back, lower body, and raising my head, and try not to hang off the shoulders, but press up out of the shoulders, and then just relax into the pose. And we're going to hold this Sphinx version of Cobra for a few breaths. And then let your elbows slide out and just gently lower and relax for a few moments. Run your awareness through your body, softening and releasing any tension that you feel. And I'm going to come out, come back up on my elbows, roll over on a side, and come back up to sitting. Next, what we're going to do is a supported version of Cobra, a restorative version. And for that, I'm going to take this bolster, what I want to do here is to build up a height that allows me to rest on top without having to do anything. Now this bolster here, as you can see, is equivalent height of just a little higher than one of these cotton blankets that's folded. You could probably use a couple of them to get the height, or leave them open I think they're folded in eighths here, and couple stacked on top of each other. So we'll see how this is going to work. And one thing you want to be careful about is that the bolster doesn't press into your neck and make it difficult for you to breathe. And I'm just using this top one and making adjustments to get it so that my chin can rest on it without pressing into my throat. And I'm going to hold this for about 5 minutes, relaxing as completely as I can. And that's about 5 minutes. And one of my favorite poses for an active yoga class or active yoga pose is called Janu Shirsasana. It means head to knee pose. And we're going to do that one next in a restorative version. And we'll use these same blankets and bolster for that. As you can see, I'm just wearing regular clothes today. I just want to demonstrate that the only reason you need to wear any kind of special clothing is because of the stretches or the poses that you're going to be moving through. And with these, I'm wearing these jeans that are fairly loose fitting and generally support me pretty well, or are pretty easy to move in. Okay, I'm sitting here with my leg extended, the foot in against the inner thigh, and if that doesn't work for you, for people who have knee issues, maybe what we can do is to open this leg out so the knee is only bent at about 45-degree angle, and then we can bring these other blankets in and begin stacking them up here. And then just relax onto the stack. And as I'm relaxing, I'm feeling my low back, especially right in here, stretching, letting go. And there we have it. Okay. Now we'll do the other side. And for the other side, sometimes this knee won't go all the way down, and if it doesn't, then we need to support it. And for that, I'm just going to pull this bolster over here and let my knee rest against that bolster. You could use blocks, you could use folded blankets, whatever you have. And I'm going to bring this other bolster in and begin stacking blankets on top. Getting the height that I need for however far down I'm able to come. And there we have Janushirasana on both sides, head to knee pose on each side. All right, next thing we're going to do is a forward fold, a floor-based or bed-based forward fold supported. And we'll begin setting these blankets and things aside. And again, straddling the bolster or several folded blankets. And then we'll begin stacking some of these blankets on top here. And again, we find the height that's right for us. Maybe we're up a little higher. Make whatever adjustments you feel you need. And then just settle in. And as you do, try and pay attention to your breath, to the sensations of stretch in your body. Try not to let your mind wander off into all kinds of crazy things where our minds tend to go. Try and stay present, stay focused, because that's really what yoga's about. Be aware of your body expanding and contracting with the breath. It's so much easier to feel that with the body pressed against these blankets. And when we're ready, after about 5 minutes or so, we come up and come out of the pose. Now, the next thing I think we're going to do is a supported back bend in our restorative class here. And for that, I'm going to begin stacking some of these blankets underneath my back. Actually, I think I'm going to begin with the bolster. Bolster can feel really, really good. Just laying back on it. And I have the edge of the bolster and or the edge of several stacked blankets just about there in the small of my back. My shoulders are off of the blanket or off of the bolster so that I open across my chest, arms alongside, head resting comfortably on the bolster or on an equally high stack of blankets. At whatever height really works for you. So you need to find what really gives you the best feel. You can begin with a low stack and begin over time stacking a little higher. And I'm feeling my body relaxing here. I didn't even realize that some of the muscles in my low back were tensed. My shoulder was tensed, buttocks, leg. All that's beginning to soften and release. These restorative poses may be done individually or as a sequence, and they may be held for as long as your body feels comfortable in the pose. And when we're ready, we come back to sitting. All right, now I'm going to set this completely aside, and we're going to do a version of bridge, a supported version of bridge, with our blankets close by. Feet drawn in, lift the hips, and place the blanket, folded blanket underneath the hips. All right. I want to try and get a little more height there. And on the bed, it's kind of difficult to lift my hips up high enough, so we'll start this way. Again, I'm trying to relax as many muscles in my body as I can, particularly in the back, buttocks, and legs. And if your knees want to fall out to the sides, I'm turning my heels outward a bit to help bring the knees in so that the knees can sort of touch. And then I'm going to open my chest a little more by rotating my palms to the sky. Oh, that's feeling so good in my low back. And there we have it. Now, sometimes after doing these restorative yogas, we feel like we need to add a little something else besides just some back bends and forward bends, basically what we did. So I've cleared off the bed to give myself some room, and I'm going to use the strap here for a couple of reclining twists. Coming onto my back, I'm going to begin bringing my knees, my feet in toward the body, and without moving these things out of the way, I'm just going to let my hands rest on my chest, knees and ankles together, bringing my feet up off of the bed. I'm going to let my knees roll over to the right side and just relax here for a few moments. Trying to keep my knees and my ankles together. And generally in these twists, whichever direction the knees and feet go, we turn the head the opposite way. Try and relax the legs, back. And of course, if you have any issues with the neck or any other part of your body, modify as you need to not irritate or cause any issues. And bringing the knees back to the center. We'll let them go off to the other side and head turning away. And of course, work to relax your body, the waist, around the low back, hips, legs, any other place where you feel tension. And back to center. Now, I'm going to sort of work onto a diagonal here. Extending my left leg out. I'm going to bring that right knee into the chest. I'm going to place the strap around the ball of the foot and then extend that leg up as high up as it comes, trying to keep the knee straight, and then draw that straight leg toward the body. I'm going to take the strap in the right hand and then just let that leg open to the right as far down as it can go. I'm trying to keep my opposite shoulder on the mat. Try not to let my opposite buttocks roll up off of the mat, and keep the legs straight. We'll bring that leg back to center with the strap in the opposite hand, rolling onto the opposite hip, and guide that leg down toward the mat. Hip wants to come up off the mat, that's okay. We want to try and keep this shoulder from rolling off the mat. And guide that straight leg to the bed surface without bending the knee. And you might need to let up on the strap so that the foot comes to the bed. And again, relaxing. That's the important thing. to center. And with both hands on the strap, we're going to draw that straight leg toward the body. The knee, of course, wants to bend, but wherever it does, back up, get the knee straight, and then work there to help stretch out the hamstrings in the back of the leg. This is the safest way to begin to loosen up the hamstrings so that you can come into those deeper forward folds. And when you're ready, float that leg back down. And of course, if there's any discomfort in the low back, you want to bend the knee and bring that foot right straight down to the surface. And now let's get the other side. Bring the knee in, place the strap around the foot, extend it up, and begin drawing that straight leg toward the body. I'm doing a little wiggles here to let the fabric of my jeans soften and work into creases in my leg here so that I can come a little deeper. And this, of course, is where one of the places where looser fitting clothes are always going to work a little better. And now we're going to open to the left. And just because of the position I'm in on the bed, I'm going to bring my arm up here to help open my chest a little bit more. And of course, with any of these poses, play around with them, find what really works for you, and then try and do it regularly. And if you're able to get up and down off the floor, and I hope you've been doing the getting up and down off of the floor exercises that we did a few sessions ago. And back to center. And other side. Back to center. And then with the leg straight, draw that straight leg toward the body. Release. And slowly lower that leg back down to the bed. Now we're going to do one last thing. Bring the feet in, bring the knees in toward the body, arms down alongside. We're going to stretch the legs straight up. Soles of the feet up toward the sky. And then slowly begin lowering the legs toward the bed. Maybe stop about 3/4 of the way down. And of course, if there's any discomfort in the low back, bend the knees and bring the feet to the surface of the bed. We'll come down to about halfway. A quarter. And all the way. And please remember that none of this is competitive. None of this should be compared to how you do, how I do. Find what works for you and then work that to help open up, loosen and relax muscles and restore your body to its earlier condition. These restorative poses may be done individually or as a sequence, and they may be held for as long as your body feels comfortable in the pose. Pause, take a screenshot, and print for your later use. May our bodies be strong, relaxed, and healthy. May our minds be calm, clear, and serene. May our hearts be filled with loving kindness, and may we live our lives in harmony with our true inner selves. May we be friendly toward the joyful, compassionate toward the suffering. May we celebrate the good in others and remain impartial to their faults and imperfections. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. I hope you'll subscribe and share these videos.